Last podcast on the left is all about the facts. So when Southern New Hampshire University came on as a sponsor, it was time to do some research. Turns out they offer more than 200 online degree programs, and get this, criminal justice and psychology are some of the most popular. Classes have no set meeting times, and tuition rates are some of the lowest in the U.S. Want to learn even more about SNHU? Visit snhu.edu/last. Insurance isn't one size fits all. That's why drivers have trusted Progressive's Name Your Price tool for years. Just tell Progressive what you want to pay, and they'll show you coverage options that fit your budget. Visit Progressive.com to find a car insurance rate that works for you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and Affiliates. Price and coverage match limited by state law.
There's no place to escape to.
This is the last podcast.
On the left.
Side stories.
From your glade. That's when the cannibalism started.
Side stories.
Yes.
Ooh, chubby boys with the chubby little toys. That's you. I see you over there with your chubby toy, your iPhone 7. It's broken. Get a new phone. I'm going to do this. I'm going to shame you on the show.
You're going to publicly shame me for being a conscientious consumer. It still works. Yes, it's slightly broken. Sure, I get shards of glass in my finger, but it works.
We keep having these fucking... We have real phone calls. We have business phone calls that you do answer on your phone, and it looks like you are fucking in the middle of an insurrection. Like you are, it's just smeared with Vaseline from your hand grease. Like you just got to get a new phone.
Well, a phone isn't going to make me less smeared in hand grease.
You just got to get a new phone.
I think this is more of an indictment on my personal hygiene.
It is. I will also say that. You got to wipe your hands and wipe the camera. Even I do, and I'm wet.
Wow. Did not know. Shots fired, folks.
What's up,
everyone?
And I'm rolling against the hellish rebuke today. I roll underneath it. I'm going to stealth myself for fucking around it. I got a 40, and I'm going to fucking roll my fucking stealth, and I'm going to go around it.
That hellish rebuke is in my pocket, burning a hole in it right now. I can pull it out at any time. Welcome to Side Stories, everyone. I am Ben, hanging out with Henry. Hope everyone is doing all right. Hope everyone had as pleasant of a weekend as they possibly could have had.
Chubby boys and their chubby little toys. I don't think, there's a lot on wrestle going on. I don't know if people are having that pleasant of a weekend, but I will say that I think that the cops should be more afraid of people. And I think a part of what they should do and start thinking about more is watch the documentary. We've already plugged this, Tread, about the killdozer.
Oh, yes.
This is what I'm saying. If they're allowed to have tanks, we should be allowed to have tanks.
I think we could buy a tank.
We either buy a tank and we have community tanks. There should be a community tank next to the police tank where you can all have it. It's at the fucking barber's house.
This is a much better idea than robot cops. Now you're really getting Kissel on board. I can be the mouthpiece for this proposed plan.
Every small town should have one civilian ran anti-aircraft missile. I'm just
fine
thinking
with that
we should
too.
have
Did you see what's going on? There's drones over Michigan. They're slicing tires in Minneapolis. Henry, you have never been more on point in your entire shirtless life. Yes, Henry is not wearing a shirt.
I'm not wearing a shirt.
I am staring at this bizarre Polish Italian man's hair. It has no idea what it's doing, but it is definitely on his body.
It is naturally forms into a sweater and naturally forms a little hole for my turtle-like head. And that's just the way fucking the Lord made me. And I am blessed for that. But I'm saying I have a tankman's body. Right? The same thing with like my father. My father was a mariner or submariner. I have a submariner's body. I should be in a little tube. And again, every community. And then what you do is every 6 months, you vote to who gets to be the pilot.
I love it. I love it, of course, Mr. Zabrowski.
And I'm going to just say, because I'm going to go on the record saying, I don't think the cops should have one.
I'm with you on that.
So if we're going to have fights, I want tank fights.
Hey, buddy, it's not just a fun video game. It's now real life. I am totally with you, Mr. Zabrowski, the hairiest seaman of all time. And you, his son, I think I nominate you, Henry Thomas Zabrowski II. You will be the first one to man said tank, and I believe you could do a lot of damage.
Load it up?
Well,
bringing the war to home. You got to fucking get those treads out. Fucking, unfortunately, I might kill some dogs in the process, and I don't want to.
Don't kill any dogs.
They got to get out of the way to the treads.
Well, of course, and I think they will. They're very intuitive when it comes to warfare. Speaking of not great weekends, we have been covering this story. What seems to be a year and a half, 2 years.
It might be a year. It might be a year. Yeah, absolutely.
Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow. Woo! The cops are finally starting to take a little bit of action.
This was one of those fun times. We try to wait as long as possible before recording side stories so that we could get, because it's always like fucking something breaks as soon as we record. And you're like, fuck, I want to talk about that. But we got this right as we were sidling into the studio. Mm-hmm. Chad Daybell is arrested after human remains found at Idaho home. I want y'all to go back. I can't recap it again. Look up Chad Daybell, look up Lori Vallow, two self-made prophets that believed that they were the chosen ones. It seemed to be that they viewed so many dead bodies are attached to this couple. Yep. Lori Vallow's kids have been missing now since September of last year. But now with this is breaking news. Chad Daybell, he has been arrested after human remains were found at his home in Rexburg, Idaho. These kids have been missing. They said that they were on vacation.
It's a long vacation.
I don't think kids should have vacation days from being kids, because that's called being dead.
Absolutely. Of course, they were at Camp Crystal Lake. If you take a look at what I would assume their corpses appear to be these days, slashed and brutalized. Unfortunately, it has taken so long because the first time the cops raided Chad Daybell's home, they weren't able to find anything. My question is, what was so difficult when it comes to finding human remains the first time? Were they still sort of believing the story? Was Chad Daybell walking behind them and telling them where to go? Oh, you don't want to go in there. That's where we keep all of our extra soap. Nothing to see. Like, what was he doing to stop the cops from going into the area where their children have their remains?
Well, we don't know if they're the kids' remains yet, but
if they're not the kids' remains, then we're in a whole nother problem.
I'm covering us legally. I'm covering us. Don't worry. That's how I'm always thinking that. But I have no clue.
I just nominated you to dominate the police with a killdozer. What do you mean?
Man, but that's different. That's fucking. I'm a wartime general, right? That's what I do. I create distractions. That's mostly my job. But it says right here, Rexburg PD, with the assistance of the FBI and the Fremont County Sheriff's Office, are serving a search warrant at Chad Daybell's home in Idaho. This is from Kim Powell, who is a reporter for AZ Family in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, it seems like maybe they didn't have access to the entire farm. Maybe there was like something they had to. We're not really certain, or maybe it's because the FBI is now involved. But it seems to be, several remains were found. But now he is in jail. Lori Vallow is now thankfully in jail. They are finally at least caught. And hopefully, I hope that we can actually bring some rest to this story.
Absolutely.
And that these kids can actually be laid peacefully to rest, because this is it's been a heartbreaking story, but man, the fucking movie that's going to come out of this shit is going to be out of control.
This is going to be a John Stamos feature. Not to diss Mr. Stamos. I believe he played one of the Mr. Kissels in the two Mr. Kissels. This is going to be a Lifetime film. This is never going to the big screen. Matt Damon ain't signed up to be this cult leader, who also, did you know this? Chad Daybell was a former gravedigger?
Hey, man, I guess that he just went back to his alma mater. And that's what he decided to do, to fall back on his old college days and get back to burying.
I've never heard of a cult leader. I've never heard of a gravedigger turned cult leader before.
Well,
but
Joseph Smith, man, fucking grave robber, turned into fucking religious founder, turned into human prophet. We will see what happens. But you know that there's several layers of film, right? You'll have the big film, the big summer movie that'll come out with like Chad Daybell, like played by like, I'm gonna maybe say out there, like, who's a good one for Chad Daybell? Tom Hanks. Right? Tom Hanks playing Chad Daybell.
No, Tom Hanks just played Mr. Rogers, Henry. Why would he do this?
Actors are always looking for challenges. Look at Kevin James, just played a serious neo-Nazi in that movie Becky.
Kevin James, he has comedic talent, as we saw with his stand-up special when he was talking about waiting in line for greeting cards. It was very funny. And he also did a great bit on muffins.
He also has a really funny bit where he says that he goes up, someone asks him if he's sweating, and they ask him if he was doing jump rope in the attic, and he says, no, actually, I just peeled an orange. He has some funny material.
He's got
some
good
funny
bits.
But you got Chad Daybell, so I would put her up there, right? I would put Chad Daybell, maybe, but somebody like a Tom Hanks, that level. And then you got Lori Vallow. I'm going to say, in the Lifetime movie, Lori Vallow will be played by a recently released Lori Loughlin.
That's what I was going to say as well, because now she's hardened. She understands. She's probably learned a little bit about the criminal element. I think she's hotter now than ever. She did her time, and now I think it's...
She hasn't done it yet.
Well, she's doing something.
She doing something. Done it yet. She hopefully
what
will
was
be
the
very
one that
soon.
did the time out of the? There's another one. Felicity Huffman.
Did she already go to jail?
She went to one of them went to jail. Felicity, I believe, went to jail. Whichever one went to jail, you get the reward of now playing Lori Vallow in a Lifetime movie. Which, oh my God, you think about the accolade that you could get with that. You could win upwards of an Emmy. And what's more exciting than an Emmy?
Actually, a daytime Emmy. Because you know what's fun about the daytime Emmy, from what I've heard, is that you can drink at the daytime Emmys, and actually the primetime Emmys, even though they're fancy, are actually quite boring because they don't serve any booze or food.
That's why it's never good to be successful. If you really look at people who go to the Oscars, you see these award shows, they're all bored as hell. You can't do anything because really you're just acting again, and your role is to be a prop or an actor who has just lost.
The what's her name? Oh, the Golden Globes is where you go to get hammered.
That's where you go to get hammered. So
we'll find out. Lori Vallow, and I guess like for the primetime movie, the big old movie, Lori Vallow would probably be played by, unfortunately, a Scarlett Johansson, because then they'll go younger. Dude, they'll go older. Girl, they'll go younger.
All right, I got nothing wrong with ScarJo. I'm sad Black Widow hasn't come out because of this dang COVID, but hopefully that'll come out at some point soon. Not my favorite character, but also... I'm here for it. That's what I say.
Wow.
I'm here for it. Well, speaking, so we will keep you up to date on what's going on with Chad and Lori. This is the biggest development that we've been able to cover because the cops have finally put these two behind bars, most likely where they belong at this point. Once you find human remains in that person's home and their children are on a 9-month vacation, we can assume something has gone awry.
Something has gone awry. Have you seen the new super cool streetwear on the street? Called shieldheadwear.com. It's new. It is, this is not a fucking joke. It is aluminum foil clothes that they are selling to block you from any sort of energy weapon.
It's 5G. So this is predicated upon the conspiracy of 5G.
This is another one. And so we had several listeners that went and actually, they guess someone did that 5G shield, that like USB thing that was sold. Apparently, there's nothing in it. There's literally nothing in it, just a fucking plug. But this has got shoes. They've got underwear. This is €39 for a beanie. For an aluminum foil beanie I'm looking at. This is really, really interesting. It's got eyewear. I don't know what that does.
It's good for the eyes. You can't let the 5G get in there. That's the direct passage to the mind. I mean, that's just the railway tunnel to the brain.
The glass is just open. They're still slapping against the fucking eyeballs.
Well, you never know what's going to happen.
This podcast is brought to you by Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one website platform that helps you stand out online. Yes, that's right. You don't have to smash your face with a hammer. You can just start a business. It's got everything you need on Squarespace, from securing your domain to building a professional site and showcasing your work all in one place. Let's say you want to show everybody how you can carve your ribs out of your lower abdomen so that you look more like a Ken doll. That's amazing. You can bring your vision to life with AI-powered design or curated templates, plus flexible editing tools that helps you create something that truly reflects your style, especially if you are somebody that is trying to corrupt the young men of America. That's what Squarespace is really going to help you. Squarespace makes it easy. It makes it easy for you to put all that together, and you just go to Squarespace and do it all. Thanks, Braden. Head to squarespace.com/left for a free trial. And when you're ready to launch, use offer code LEFT to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. This is a paid ad by BetterHelp. You know, stigma shows up in a lot of different places. I know I had to explain to my handyman about the devil imagery in my home. I had to explain that in our home, El Diablo es bueno. And he reluctantly agreed. I think largely just because he was in my home and he was scared. But over time, he began to see, the devil can be my amigo. See, even in 2026, stigma can get in the way of a lot of things, right? My handyman almost didn't put up my floating media cabinet, right? You gotta get support for your mental health. Maybe you've encouraged friends to consider therapy while avoiding taking the first step yourself because you're busy, worried what others will think, or telling yourself you should handle it alone. No, you need a team. Get therapy with BetterHelp, the world's largest online therapy platform. Give me a space to slow down and talk through what's building before it feels unmanageable. So let's take a short questionnaire to identify your needs and preferences, and BetterHelp will handle the initial therapist matching work for you. Their industry-leading match rate means BetterHelp typically gets it right the first time. Feel confident knowing BetterHelp therapists work according to a strict code of ethics and are fully qualified. So don't let hesitation hold you back. Find support with BetterHelp. Sign up and get 10% off at betterhelp.com/lastpod. That's betterhelp.com/lastpod.
Hey there, everybody. Is your cell phone bill too much money? Are you getting that bill and you're like, hey, what is this? I can't believe for what? For 5G? Are you crazy right now? $100? I don't even barely got any bars when I'm just sitting in my living room, okay? You don't have to deal with that anymore. Are you ready for this? $15 a month. That's right, $15 a month on Mint Mobile. Yeah, baby. Get their wireless plan, because they're just sitting there on the T-Mobile 5G network, and it's just $15. Your whole life, you're just paying all this money every month. You're like, why? Where's it going? It's going to these phone companies that are robbing you. So go to Mint Mobile. Let them help you talk to your mom. So get your new wireless plan for just $15 a month. Go to mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's mintmobile.com/LPOTL. Cut your wireless bill to $15 a month at mintmobile.com/LPOTL. That's it. There's no catch. Upfront payment of $45 for 3 months, $90 for 6 months, $180 for 12 months. Plan required, $15 per month equivalent. Taxes and fees extra. Initial plan term only. Greater than 50 gigabytes may slow when the network is busy. Includes up to 20 gigabytes hotspot. Capable device required. Availability, speed, and coverage varies. See mintmobile.com.
You mentioned technology, Henry. That reminded me of this story that we must cover about cell phone chargers. Do you know how you lose your cell phone charger all the time?
All the time. I have to be like, when we're traveling, I'm always horrible. Like looking for a charger. I'm always just trying to find it. It's like, you know, how many of these do I blow through? 5, 6, 7 a month?
I know. I'm sitting in the back seat 8, as we're driving to 9, the next gig, and I just hear
10 a week.
And as soon as Henry starts doing his Porky Pig, man, do you have another charger? Then it's like, oh my God, yes, Jackie, here's my charger, sure.
Yeah, that's your impression of me. I think that's interesting. But yeah, kid, so why do you bring that up?
Well, may I recommend you do what this Indian man did? This is a recent story from the CNN Wire, only covering the most important news. This dude went to the doctor. He said he had some abdominal pain. The doctors were like, I don't know, man, take a diuretic. You know, maybe this is going to help you out. It turns out he has a sexual fetish where he puts things inside of his penis. In this case, he was able to shove a 2-foot long phone charger cable into the front of his penis to the degree that it ended up in his bladder. There's a picture here that apparently these doctors just leak, which I don't like this. If I go to the doctor...
This is irresponsible. This is irresponsible. There's no reason. There's no reason.
They have the X-ray picture in this story. This is KTLA5, and all I know is this is what keeps people who have gerbils or any form of modeling clay, toy cars, anything in their rectum or their abdomen. This is what stops them from going to the hospital, because the doctors are just going to laugh at you. So the man visited the hospital in northeastern India.
He shows up. I like spelling this out because this is the thing, guys. I think that we're going to say this is a public information message to all of our listeners.
Absolutely.
When you go to the doctor, There
Yes.
are things that you just tell them straightforward, right? I used to hide all my shit, but now I tell them being like, yeah, I did shrooms this weekend. I do weed. And they're like, fucking hell yeah, dog. And then they fucking slap her head. Like, how many times they go in there and they put their reggae hat on me with the dreads sewn into them?
You're a cool guy. So you're there, huh? You've adulted to that point. I'm slightly older than you, but I still have not adulted to the point where telling the doctor the truth is cool. I still
tell him
can't.
everything.
I
tell him stuff like, I jerked off before coming here today. And they get upset.
Yeah, that's a little strange, especially when you're going there for their physical or for your physical, although I'm sure they appreciate that. Less risk of getting a bone.
I just want them to understand that, don't worry, the gun's not going to accidentally go off this time.
Absolutely. You're not going to be the second boyfriend to Joe Exotic in Tiger King. You're not going to shoot his head off.
I'm not going to shoot his head off.
Okay.
Oh, wow. It is fun. It is fun to reminisce.
Yeah, it is.
When you go to the doctor, because he showed up and he said that he was experiencing abdominal pain, so they gave him a bunch of laxatives, and he was just shitting, and that was they don't understand what's going on.
For 5 days.
He came in after 5 days of laxatives, and he said, "Hey, listen, it's not coming out. I don't know what's happening to me." Then we're like, "All right, we'll look at we're gonna have to do some form of X-ray on you," and then they found the 2 feet of cable coiled around like a serpent inside of his bladder, and it took a long time. They had to go and fucking pull it out, and there was like, if they said right here, if he had just been honest, it would have saved us the trouble, and we could have treated him sooner.
Maybe he wanted to have the runs for 5 days. Perhaps that's part of the sexual fetish. As we've talked about, it kind of feels good the first few times before you have to go to the bank and you have to do things in your life. It's like when you lose your cell phone. The first 5 hours of you having your cell phone lost, you do feel there's a small amount of liberation. There is like, if I miss a text, no fault on me. If I don't get an email.
I'm out of my phone. It's such a beautiful relief. I don't have to deal with it anymore for a couple hours. And then it immediately becomes crushing panic. What's happening? What am I missing?
High anxiety. First few hours stuck on the toilet. I'm not having the worst time. I feel like I'm losing a little bit of weight. And then it's like, great. Oh, what's that? Oh, I have to meet my mother-in-law at Applebee's in an hour.
Meanwhile, you're shitting. You got 2 feet of fucking phone charger up your fucking dick hole. You're gonna have to go to that fucking shark taco. What is it? Shark bone taco?
Sure. If you have a very fancy mother-in-law, I mean, I just go Applebee's, Chili's.
And you're sitting in a Ponderosa knowing that you got that all bunched up right behind your pee hole. I also don't know how you're peeing.
Although, if you do go to Ponderosa and you do have a case of massive diarrhea, they'll probably just make you the head chef. So they conducted an endoscopy. Now, my question here is, and please, if you have this fetish, all good, no harm, no foul. Little bit of a foul here, and it does seem like some harm has occurred. But for the most part, he was the only victim, and so everything is fine. Would this not be the piece de resistance of the fetish? Getting the endoscopy, getting someone to go in there. You have a team of doctors now.
That's
it's
wildly
time to
interesting.
show that hole.
I actually don't know. That's actually a really good question. I don't know if this was the actual aim of this, or is the idea, because in my mind, I thought that sounding with the pleasure was in putting it in and taking it out. To me, that's why I was going to say, it's like, when this is one of those classic cases of like, when you lose your string in your jogging pants?
I hate that.
Never lose the string in the tip of your dick. Always have a little nub and lawnmower yourself. I'm certain that is the way. I thought that's where the pleasure was. But again, maybe I'm just some kind of white bread vanilla piece of shit. Because I feel like the feeling of it tugging against the wall of your bladder might be very interesting.
I don't know how you lose it. It seems extremely difficult. It must have been kind of intentional.
Plug? It's got a USB plug on the other side. How does it get lost?
I have a feeling, just looking at the picture that these doctors leak because they have no respect for their patients at all, it looks like he had cut that portion of it off, and it was just
that's why it's there,
the
buddy.
String.
That is why it's there. Yeah, some people say, it's because it attaches to the charger and that's how you get the power in. No, it's there to keep it from sliding up inside of you like some form of crooked ass upside down spaghetti.
Yes, well, according to the doctor, he said, I have read that people used to get sexual gratification by inserting instruments through the penis.
I have read, quote unquote, shush.
This is one such case. And then he goes on to say, and the psychiatrist can help him beyond this point. So apparently they think this guy needs psychiatric help, which, because he did lose the string, is going to put him that you got to talk to someone just because you lost it inside of your bladder.
Got to talk to someone.
Be safe.
And that is now you've done it. And maybe actually that's where the horniness comes in, is telling him at the very end, go, I did it, naughty. Being like, well, now we're gonna have to cut open your fucking guts.
That's
so
exactly what
congratulations.
they did do. Yeah.
All right, so this is a story that this is another one of those. I fucking love our show. This is a story that is out of control, and it's also, I have no clue what's going on, and it's the very beginning.
Okay.
Suspicious bizarre theory emerges on photo of missing mom and son. And this is the story of a woman, Felicity Loveday, 83. She went missing with her son, Adrian Menevau, 56. They went missing in Melbourne as they prepared to leave for a 3-day, what they called a cleansing ritual on December 11th, 2019. So this is a story from still like this. They don't know where the hell this dude is, right?
All right. Wow. It's been quite a while.
There's a picture that was taken by, by a member of their family. There's one last picture that shows the two of them on a boat, which is this old kind of pontoon, fucking rickety ass looking boat that was, she's 83 years old, and they are pretty certain from the looks of this picture that the old woman that is in the chair is dead already, right?
Oh,
she is very white, kind of propped up, looking a little like Bernie. Right? A little bit, kind of kept up with the life preserver.
Right.
He's whirring the engine. Now, what they don't know, this is where it gets really, really strange. It has emerged that Ms. Loveday was once a senior co-Freemasonry figure and served as what is called the worshipful master at a Southport Queensland lodge, presiding over rituals and ceremonies in the mid-2000s. So she is a part of this Freemasonry group. You see several pictures of her with the robes on, and she was in charge of it. Now, the son, they were going to do what they called a cleansing ritual, because Adrian and Felicity, this two men, and they are bosom buddies. They look like haunted roommates.
Right.
Because it's just roommates with your 83-year-old mother. They said that Adrian and Felicity were practicing meditation for some time, and they believed that Felicity, the 83-year-old woman, had awoken black magic, and Adrian, he felt responsible for it. And they said that the boat trip was a means of reversing it.
So the boat trip was going to reverse all the black magic charms. And you're right, Henry. I'm looking at a picture now. She looks a bit like Grandma from National Lampoon's European Vacation when she was in the chair atop the car.
It looks like the woman from Don't Tell Mom the Babysitter's Dead.
Yes, there's definitely, in other words, she looks very dead.
It's very, very dead. And so what they're saying is they went out on the salt water because that's how they would purify whatever ritual that they needed to do, right? So Mrs. Loveday's daughter, Christina Loveday, was the last person to see her brother and mother at the Frankston boat ramp. She told police that although she was initially concerned about the 3-day trip, she was reassured when her brother said he would keep in contact. Because she's 83 years old, she had no reason to be in this rickety-ass little boat.
No, definitely not.
On December 13th, she received a text message saying that they were having a quote-unquote good time, which sounds like they were getting hammered and having sex with each other, which they shouldn't have because this is not Pornhub.
No,
right?
this
is fucking real life.
Relatives. I haven't seen. Has Pornhub amped up the game to Granny fucks grandson at this point? Is that what's going on?
No, we should
here?
also start looking at Pornhub having a little bit of a problem cleaning up their child porn problem as fast as humanly possible. Switch over to X videos.
On
December 15th. This empty boat was found submerged about 20 kilometers from where the pair left. Constable Ops describe it as definitely not suitable for sleeping in for a 3-day trip. So they put in this little boat. So basically, she had some form of advanced dementia. They don't know what the hell, but they said they went out to, but apparently, Mr. Menevau, the son, had purchased a second boat shortly before the trip, did not tell anybody that he had purchased a boat, and that boat is also missing, and so is the son. They found the boat, the little shitty boat that they were in. They found it submerged in the water.
Did they dump
3 days
Grandma
later.
over the boat?
Don't know where Grandma is.
Did they literally pull a throw mama from the train, but the aquatic version of it?
Yeah, she got Osama bin Laden.
Wow!
Yeah,
All because
she didn't
cast
deserve
a
that
black
unless she really did. But I want to see this other movie on the other side of like, well, what fucking portal did fucking him and old lady open up? Are there demons everywhere that we don't know about it? Is that a part of the, is that COVID? Is that the COVID?
I mean, you look at the time, absolutely. We're talking late December. I believe that's when it was starting to begin and spread throughout China. And I believe that this woman is responsible for COVID, but then shouldn't this have solved the entire problem? They drowned her in salt water. Theoretically, that was supposed to solve the entire pandemic. Maybe she comes back like aforementioned Jason Voorhees. Perhaps she just resides down there. Maybe she's hanging out with the Bloop or Cthulhu. This might be the best option for her. They could have just caused the end of the world by doing something so stupid as to drowning this witch.
Unless she went to join the old ones, like you said. Now they're saying it's a little bit of fault. It was found immediately. It was found afterwards, and they are gone. This dude is gone, and I'm going to tell you what: if she is not deceased in this picture, she's looking a little seasick. So I think that immediately they should have been, because, like, you know, is he just lifting dead mom up and putting her in the boat, and the sister's not saying anything, being like, I think mom should be moving. You know, like, I think mom should be, like, kicking or saying something to responding. Is he just doing the whole, like, we're doing fine, Sonny, like doing old school ventriloquism?
If he's a vaudevillian actor, I would give him a lot of credit for doing something so artistically valid. I don't know. I mean, either way, is he just lampooned on an island right now? Is he living like Tom Hanks in Castaway? Is he painting little faces on basketballs and being friends with them? Perhaps having sex with them, which Tom Hanks never did.
You say that. I honestly do believe that he had sex with Wilson. He at least rubbed it on Wilson, or Wilson watched him have sex with the fish.
You don't think he turned Wilson's little ball head around? You know how easy it is to turn a ball around?
Just for his decency, so he wouldn't share his secrets. Maybe.
I don't know. We're gonna have to ask this guy if they ever find him lampooned on an island somewhere.
I don't know. But now we're seeing. So if you see a fucking gross dude with a really lumpy duffel bag somewhere in Adelaide,
yep,
I'd give him a little bit of check. And if he tells you he's a wizard, being like, well, I'm gonna need to see your fucking Keys of Solomon charts before I agree that you are a wizard.
I completely agree with you on that. Well, speaking of wizards and COVID, some people think doctors are wizards, as we talked about in the last Relax Fit episode. It is something magical, isn't it, medicine? Well,
what? It's not, though. It's the opposite.
Well, it's still very magical. There was a former Northwestern University professor. Now, he's in prison currently, but he would like to be released because he is a immunologist. He knows a lot about immunology. He fatally stabbed. Why is he in prison? It's because he fatally stabbed his boyfriend to fulfill an elaborate sexual fantasy. Now, he is saying, I need to be released because I'm the only person that can cure people who have COVID. I'm an immunologist. I'm a superhero in this world.
That's what I do. Yeah,
that's
I
what he
fix
does.
These things.
So his defense attorney says, I'm guessing, this is according to his defense attorney, Barry Shepard. He says, I'm guessing there's no other litigants that have proposed this to the court that their client can possibly aid in a very significant matter. He goes on to say, this man is a leading immunologist and someone who knows lung infections better than anyone else. Cook County Circuit Judge Charles Byrne deferred his decision on whether to release Wyndham Latham, but we shall see. All I know is if I got COVID, I go to the doctor and I'd be like, where'd you study medical school? And he's just like, the yard, the prison yard. Like, I would just be like, you know what? Give me COVID. I'm going to see what I can do with COVID, see if I can live. I don't really want my doctor to be a person convicted of stabbing his boyfriend to death in a sexual exploit gone wrong.
But who would know the human body better than someone who ended a life? Because then he knows how far to take it and how far is too far.
I don't know, because it seems like his sexual fetish involves taking his partner to the brink of death. Why would I believe he would even try to cure my COVID when the sicker I get, the harder he gets, and then I just have cum on my face right before I die because he ejaculates?
Kissel, this is where this thing is. The cum part comes when he then just manages to heal you. So yeah, it's common.
Okay,
it's fucking
I'm gonna give you a little bit.
Fucking very what's its butts. It's very who knows.
Your interesting defense of this doctor gone horribly wrong. I'd rather go to a dentist called Dr. Giggles. He stabbed his partner, Trenton Gornell Durenlau, 70 times. And he did this in a high-rise apartment. So you know this man. He might not necessarily understand boundaries very well. And when I think of a doctor, I don't like the Seinfeld episode where his doctor does molest him. His dentist does actively molest Jerry Seinfeld, and it's a lull and a raffle.
Yes.
In real life, I don't want my
That's a horrible
doctor.
Tragedy. It means your whole life is shattered.
It's
your whole
all
life
ruined.
is shattered immediately if your dentist sucks your dick while you're asleep.
Well, if you can't trust the doctor, then you're done, because now we can't go to the doctor anymore.
Can't go to
your
the
teeth
doctor.
are going to fall out of your face. Your kidneys are
Absolutely,
going to fail. Everything's going to fall apart.
I think that this guy, I don't want this guy to be my doctor, but I think that if you're in jail for white collar crimes or like one of those kind of more simple crimes and you learn to be a doctor in jail, I might take a stab at it. I remember I went to a dentist once in deep in Brooklyn, and I went to a dentist, and the dentist, he wasn't paying attention to me. I had no insurance at the time, so I had to just like pay for whatever
why
I
would
could
he
get.
pay attention to you? Yeah, you're no
Right?
insurance actor. I
I'm
mean, who cares?
garbage. I'm just a garbage piece of shit to this guy. I'm sitting in the chair, and I distinctly remember he wasn't looking at me. He was literally absentmindedly stabbing my mouth with the hook as he was watching Fattest Babies in America segment on, I want to say it was Maury Povich. I want to say it was them with like a 90-pound 4-year-old, and he's just like, that kid's too fat. Meanwhile, he's viciously stabbing me to the point where I had to take his hands, and I pulled the instruments out of my mouth, and I was like, I have to leave. I have to go. You are just cutting me.
Well, in the doctor's defense, obviously you got to stop and watch that segment, but the key
Pull
word
the
is stop.
instruments out,
Yeah,
and we'll
pull 'em
all
out.
sit and roast it. We'll all sit and enjoy it and talk about it and have a cup of coffee. But you're in the middle of it, actively lollygagging, as if you got money on whether or not this kid was going to die by the time it's 15 years old.
Oh, definitely. If they keep that weight up. Yeah, I miss those segments. They would always present they treated those kids like Donald Trump treated the national championship team. They just got them like thousands of dollars
Yes.
worth of Burger
And
King and McDonald's and just put it all on the table in front of them. Of
Let's see
course
how
the
much you
2-year-old's
can
going to eat it. He's a champion.
Yeah, he doesn't know.
Just so you know, again, this doctor, he does seem a little bit scarier than even I assumed before. He lured his boyfriend up to the apartment. He stood
Well,
in the
you don't
doorway.
need to lure your boyfriend.
He lured him. I don't know.
He doesn't need to lure him. He's
I
already
don't know.
there.
He put Spam on a string and watched him slowly come up the stairs chasing said
Natalie
Spam.
doesn't
I
need
have
to
no idea.
lure me into having sex with her. She just arrives with something vaguely with me seeing the shape of her body, and I'm ready to go.
Well, he stood in the doorway to the bedroom with his cell phone in hand as Latham repeatedly stabbed Cornell Durnley as he slept. According to prosecutors, Latham had asked Warren to video record the killing, but he never did. That was another person that was involved in all of this.
What?
As part of a plea deal, this other dude, Warren, agreed to testify against Latham in return for a recommendation from prosecutors that he only be sentenced to 45 years. We got multiple people involved in this stabbing. That's what I'm saying. And now this doctor wants to get out and cure people with COVID.
Maybe it's time for him to put his knife blows where they'll do best, in
Also-
the surgery room.
They're saying Warren was a third-party custodian, which I don't believe means
What
he
is
was
a
a janitor.
third-party custodian? Is
I
that just a
think-
man with a broom? That's what it sounds like.
I don't
It just
know.
sounds like it's a man with a fucking... It's just a man with a vendetta, a bucket, a mop, and only one pair of pants, and he doesn't wear pants when his pants are dirty. You know what
All
I'm
I
saying?
know is if Andrew Warren, that's this man's full name, the guy who was supposed to film it then, if he was a real custodian, I think he adds more value to society than this immunologist who was obviously just going to kill people with COVID. Because what do custodians do? They clean. And what do we need right now? Clean surfaces.
Clean
So-
surfaces.
Clean surfaces.
We really
So-
do. All right, speaking of clean surfaces, this guy will never have to deal with a surface ever again. This is the FBI says a guy blew his hand off with a bomb, possibly planned for an attack on quote-unquote hot cheerleaders. This comes from
Really?
BuzzFeed News. Cole Carini told FBI agents he had a lawnmower accident, which is a lot. That's like if you just, I can see, Dorf does lawn care.
Yeah.
And how scary that would be. But when agents searched his home, they found blood and chunks of human flesh splattered on a bedroom wall.
This guy, by the way, if you haven't seen his mugshot, his just beneath his eyes, if he was the bottom of a pizza crust, of a brick oven pizza crust, that's a perfect crispy crust. You're going to get that crunch. You're going to get that snap when you have to fold the triangle so you can get it in your mouth, because you can't eat pizza with a knife and fork unless it's a deep dish. We all know that. He really has a good burn going.
He looks like an asshole.
Yeah.
He looks like a Looney Tune person like blew up. Like it is like they didn't even try to fix him up. So this 23-year-old Virginia man who appeared to be planning an incel bomb attack on hot cheerleaders. That's just they're throwing
Also,
incel in there.
They do throw the incel in there, but it's also like this whole idea of hot cheerleaders, and this is not demeaning cheerleaders of any ilk, but like I think it's more of a stereotype. A lot of times they're quite
attractive.
They're
all attractive. They're all attractive.
They can be.
You have to be, at least if you are a cheerleader, you are a representative of the team. So you are fun. You are full of energy. You are athletic. You are enthusiastic.
I feel like you're making this. You're basing this opinion off of porn, as you base many opinions off of, and I am also guilty. I just don't know if that's the case anymore. But nonetheless, it does not matter.
I love them. I love each one of them.
Gotcha.
So like late Tuesday evening, Carini went to a medical center near his home in Richlands, Virginia, with one hand missing, several fingers amputated, and shrapnel wounds to his neck and throat. Jeez. When asked if he remembered what happened to put him in the hospital, authorities wrote in the criminal complaint, Carini told the FBI agents that he was mowing his yard and the mower flipped over in such a way that it, and this is added, dragged his hands into the blades, and because the blades were spinning so fast, it acted as a bomb. This is not a Wile E. Coyote scenario. This is real life. But when FBI agents,
you got to come up with that story before you meet the FBI.
This is
you can't
what
just
he
be
did.
spitballing.
He was in shock because he lost most of his hands because his shitty little Riddler plan went awry. So they discovered when FBI agents searched his home, they found a shocking scene, a trail of blood leading investigators to a bedroom where blinds had been shredded by shrapnel. Everything was covered in blood. They said they discovered explosive chemicals in a box of rusty nails that could be used as shrapnel, PVC pipes, 6-inch high grass at his home, so showed no signs of having been freshly mowed.
That's is the key right there.
That's the killer right there.
This is so 6-inch high grass at the home. This is your Columbo moment. This is when you believe him.
Wait a second. It seems that there's been no lawn mowing happened at this. Excuse me, ma'am. Let me just ask you one last thing. And then immediately he's just like, I'm trying to blow up their sweet little pussies. But here's a video of there's a picture of him on Facebook holding up a bunch of $20 bills, which he looks so badass. And now in a nearby shed,
he's got at least $300 of $20 bills, though, Henry. I mean, let's give some credit where credit is due. And you know for a fact his parents are driving because he's in the back seat.
He's in the back seat.
Wearing his seatbelt, which is
very
good.
safe.
But that's definitely his parents driving.
Yes, that is a van that he is in. In a nearby shed, authorities found a crumpled letter that discussed a suicide bomber walking through a shopping mall while concealing deadly objects to target a stage of hot cheerleaders. Now, this is directly from a quote from his little writing. I will not be afraid of the consequences, read the letter. No matter what, I will be heroic. I will make a statement like Elliot Rodgers did, he thought to himself.
And, of course, he spelled Elliot Rodgers wrong, which really pisses me off because you know how he spelled it. Like my boy Aaron Rodgers on the GP Packers, on the GB Packers, not the Green Packers. That's an alien race. The Green Bay Packers, he spelled it like Aaron Rodgers. You cannot defame the great Rodgers name like this. Get Elliot out of there.
But it seems that he at least lost his fucking girlfriend in this, which is really a shame.
And again, this is why we actually have incel is a very interesting term right now. That's what I will say. If he has a girlfriend, then isn't he not an incel?
No, I mean his fucking hand. I mean his fucking hand that he blew off his fucking body.
You blew off his masturbating hand. Well, we don't know which hand was blown off or if he's right or left-handed. So that's just speculation, Mr. Zabrowski.
Hey, Daniel Day-Lewis learned how to paint with his feet, and that was just for a goddamn movie. You can learn how to jerk off with anything.
Well, oh my God. Well, either way, This is according to his brother Neil Carini. He says, "My family is trusting in God and godly people. Please pray for my brother. Thank you."
It is. I mean, I honestly, you could pray for him. I guess he could deserve it. Whatever that. I mean, it doesn't do anything. So yes, pray for him.
This might be the exact wake-up call this boy needed. He obviously has extreme mental issues he's got to work through. He's got anger problems. He's got a lot of stuff going on.
Blowing his hand off
the
might
wake-up
be,
call.
It literally might be the thing that saves his life. Where he
probably
gets this
will
thing
be.
called off, and maybe he could sit and realize that he's a little bitch and that he was super mad about all of this bullshit. It's like he doesn't even look that fucking bad. He needs to get his shit together. He needs to learn how to play a fucking He needs to learn how to play a fucking instrument. He needs to get a fucking job. He needs to pull his shit together. And maybe, because who knows? There's plenty of work at the Amazon factory with people with one hand.
Oh my God, and you could imagine all the games you can play when you're just like, oh, help me in the shredder, you know, and then you get like a bunch of ketchup and ham coming out of your hand. And,
Got you guys. You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah, you
classic.
could be the funny guy in the room if you want to.
You could be, and if he has any athletic prowess whatsoever, looking at him, I don't think he's going to make it in the NFL, but don't forget Jason Pierre-Paul blew off his hand while playing with fireworks, not intended to hurt anyone, but he's still in the NFL. And there's another person as well with one hand, no fault of his own and whatsoever. He's playing in the NFL. So if he does want to be an athlete, he could still be a Chuck. What do they call those people again? Daves, Dans,
A Chad.
Chads.
Yeah. Or the guy from the drummer from Def Leppard. He always
look
comes
at that
up.
guy.
I actually would he also lose one of his feet?
What?
I think the drummer. I think that he might have lost both. Did he lose a foot?
Yeah,
too?
I think it was just, you know, when you get a new toy and now they have all the detachable wrists and limbs and stuff, but then, you know, you're just going to end up like losing everything. He's in toy like age 5 years old. Like it's all done. Like what the kid swallowed one of his arms, his foot's gone. Like he's never going to be put together again.
He's doing very well. I think he might actually be. He's still alive.
Has anyone ever kept all of the parts to a Mr. Potato Head, for example? It's not possible. Over the years,
You're just
time
saying
works
that all life should work. That we're all just going to. That's just us, Kissel. It's because we're going to get fucking diabetes.
Penis.
That's why. That's called losing a section. He did not deserve to lose sections of his body at a time.
No.
We will do the things that it takes to deserve slowly shedding body parts as time goes.
Is there anything better than a summer evening outdoors? Enjoy your space to the fullest with new greenery from Fast Growing Trees. I love a big, thick bush. Fast Growing Trees is America's largest, most trusted online nursery, and they can send me a big, thick bush any time of the day. It arrives at work. It arrives at my car. I can pinpoint on a Google map where it is. Send me a big, thick, brown bush. And they send it immediately when they have it, because sometimes the shaver comes to town. I remember one time I ordered a cherrywood tree from Fast Growing Trees. And my God, I couldn't cut it down, no matter what my father told me to do. I had to lie to him about it. And next thing you know, I became the first president of the United States of America. And even you can become the first president of the United States of America with Fast Growing Trees. Right now, get up to half off select summer planning essentials, plus get an additional 20% off your first purchase with code LEFT at checkout. That's an additional 20% off at fastgrowingtrees.com with code LEFT at checkout. Offer is valid for a limited time only. Terms and conditions apply.
All right, I know what you're thinking. I like to go banking, but I don't want to give to these big old banks all the time that cater to the 1%. Well, go ahead and get yourself hooked up with Chime. It's banking built for you, not just those rich jerks. And they got thousands of fee-free ATMs because why pay to get your own money? Chime is working for you, man. You get your Chime card, you're going to get travel perks, you're going to get into airport lounges, you're going to get those chicken thighs. You know, every time I go to an airport lounge, I get chicken thighs. And you know what I say whenever I see a plate of chicken thighs? Give me more. Chime's going to get you those chicken thighs in these lounges, all right? Sure, they could serve other types of meat, but why would you when chicken thighs are so delicious? Chime is not just smarter banking, it's the most rewarding way to bank. Join the millions who are already banking fee-free today. Head to chime.com/left. That's chime.com/left. It only takes a few minutes to sign up. Chime is a fintech, not a bank. Banking services for Chime Card provided by Chime's bank partners. Optional products and services may have fees or charges. Stated cashback for Chime Prime only. No minimum balance required. For more information on travel perks, go to chime.com/disclosures.
It's obvious we love true crime, but it does make us feel a little paranoid about what's out there, as it should. And that's why it's so important to get a home security system that gives you peace of mind. With SimpliSafe, you can stop crimes before they even start using their AI-powered cameras to identify threats on your property and alert US-based live agents to take action. Like arriving in a helicopter in the night, coming down from the helicopter, zipping down and breaking through the windows with their big axes, and going through the house, ripping through the walls, finding the criminals. It's easy to do. SimpliSafe has been a game changer for us. And the best part, there's no long-term contract. We've used it since the very early days of SimpliSafe here at LPN, and it keeps us safe, doesn't it? It keeps all of our thoughts inside the building. Then there's the ones we let out because they have to go out because that's a part of it. But SimpliSafe keeps the other thoughts safe. And for that, we say thank you, SimpliSafe. And we want you to experience the same peace of mind as we, which is why we've partnered with SimpliSafe to offer an exclusive discount to all of our listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplisafe.com/LPOTL. That's half off at simplisafe.com/LPOTL. There's no safe like SimpliSafe.
Just a quick side note here. In Indiana, there was a missionary. His name is Donald C. Miller. If you want to know what the most haunted place in the world is, it's probably this place. FBI toured or searched his museum, and they found over 2,000 human bones that he had taken from ancient Native American burial sites.
Not a good idea. If you see bones from an old Native American burial site, don't take them. Let him stay. Because he must just sit in his house and just hear like, get out, get out. Like all the fucking Native American songs and whistles go through the house as his furniture slides around. And I guess you just get used to it like the subway.
Absolutely, yeah. I don't even hear the cranking of the subway on the tracks as they haven't lubed them up in a decade. I don't see the rats anymore eating full hot dogs or someone's ear. I do want to point this out in this story. Amy Moore, that's one of Miller's friends, again, this missionary, she said, I mean, this man, he's an amazing piece of history. He's an artifact himself because he's 91 years old and he has just recently died. So she kind of roasted him a little bit. Anyway.
A little bit.
So anyway, we've been talking a lot about burial robberies, and they are still going on today. So be careful out there. And if you do have a burial site and you want to protect those bones, you got to get a Chihuahua.
Got to get a Chihuahua because they are surprisingly little vicious creatures. I've seen Wendy turn into her animal self. Like normally Wendy acts like a cat or like a doorstop or like just like a human, just like she just cuddles. She's a little fucking warm like heating lamp. That's all Wendy is. But when she gets crazy, she like puffs up to 2 times her size. It's weird looking. It's crazy. Mm-hmm. This other story, it just quickly talk about, I mean, this is wild. I want to go into deeper. God damn it. I want to go into, I want to look into this more. This is the decade-old quest. This is from WAPO. The decade-old quest for a hidden treasure chest is over. The millionaire who hid it says it was just found. This is fucking wild.
Yes.
This is a New Mexico art and antiques collector announced 10 years ago that he had hid a chest containing $2 million in riches deep in the Rocky Mountains. He told people to go hunt for it, and hundreds and thousands of adventurers did just that. At least 5 people died while looking for this.
Dude,
this comes from Sydney
this is
Page.
Great. So, okay, I have a question for you. You say you hide Trisha, and you're like, if anyone finds it, they can keep it. 5 people die searching for it. Mm-hmm. At what point do you just be like, I know where it is. I'm just going to take it back. Like, and how many people have to die in search of your hidden treasure before at some point you're complicit in their death?
I think you just become more and more powerful each time someone dies looking for your hidden treasure because you're becoming like an old school like pharaoh. This is weird. This is story from lore. The idea of like just sitting up being like, find my treasure and see what adventure abounds. Like, it's incredible. These people signed up for the adventure.
I guess so. I mean, it is Curly's gold. They are out there. They're looking for it. I'm sure Billy Crystal, I'm sure everyone out there was telling some really great jokes. I just feel like if I hid treasure and 5 people died looking for it, I would say I would make a better map. That's all I would just be like, here's a better map just so no one has to die.
It was supposed to be difficult. I think it'd be different if he was like in a sniper nest above the treasure, just fucking shooting whoever got close. That's the game I would play. The man's name is Forrest Fenn. He hid a 42-pound bronze chest, and it was finally unearthed over the weekend. The search is over, Fenn, 89, wrote on his website. The treasure has been found. The finder of the treasure wanted to remain anonymous because he was one of an estimated 350,000 people who, over the last decade, have risked their lives in search of the buried bounty. This thing is crazy. I also want to... My one thing is that I want to find out all the various places he stole things that were inside of this chest. I want to see how other people feel like who does this shit belong to? It was an elusive 13th century treasure chest filled with rare artifacts, precious jewels, gold, rubies, diamonds, other valuables. He said that he had it over the years and he just put it in a fucking box. He said Fenn said that the treasure was found Saturday and that the man who uncovered the chest sent him a photograph as evidence of the discovery.
Damn, all right. I wonder how new technology has played a role in this as well. If you're a treasure hunter, reach out, sidestorieslpotl@gmail.com. I didn't even think that people did this anymore, other than Israel Keys, who would hide his treasures, which were a gun and a knife and other disgusting, nerdy things that he would keep around, the trees of the neighborhoods that he would go torment. I did not realize that treasure hunting was still such a thing. 350,000 people, only 5 died? Now I reverse my statement. That's not so bad.
That's what I'm saying. And I also, in my mind, we have billionaires coming out of the woodwork to fucking deeply embarrass themselves talking about social issues that they are completely spaced away from humankind and too much to even speak about. This is the type of shit that billionaires should be doing. If they are going to exist, and I don't even think that they should exist, but if they are going to exist, this is the fun shit. He wrote an autobiography called The Thrill of the Chase, where he put clues in a 24-line poem. And he said that the purpose of the hunt was encourage people to immerse themselves in the wilderness and engage in an old-fashioned adventure. I get this. This is, I love this. Many people thought it was a hoax.
I mean, now that you say that, he wrote a book, you get people reading, you get people outdoors. Everyone, there's a lot of masculine people out there who are treasure hunters who are forced to read a poem. That's very good for them.
You actually were truth. You actually were close to the truth. The police chief, this comes from ABC News, a police chief actually pleaded with the author who hid treasure to call off the hunt after 2 people died in 2017.
He let 3 more die.
He let 3 more die. He's like, please stop it. Please stop this treasure hunt. And he's like, no, I refuse. It is about the adventure. It is about the thrill of the chase.
What's a treasure to a detective, though, Henry? A corpse.
A corpse. Yes. A corpse. That's what they wish. They wish it was a corpse. And this is where he said, this is one of the beginning of the poem.
Okay.
Begin it where warm waters halt, and take it in a canyon down. Not far, but too far to walk. Put in below the home of Brown. I think it's underneath the toilet.
It sounds like it's in an outhouse, yeah.
Yeah, the hole of Brown.
The hole of Brown. Yes, indeed. It's been near my butthole this entire time. No one's seen it for 10 years.
What if it was just underneath a fucking porta potty at the Thunderdome? Like it's just underneath. It is just in the piss trough of a hockey stadium.
Oh, my goodness. That would be a rough day to be a treasure hunter unless you're into both of those things.
But this dude, Forrest Fenn, it's like one of those, like, he has one of those dens filled with treasures antique and all sorts of like weird little bottles and piles of gold looking things and shit. These people are really, Technically, he probably did horrible shit to make this money.
Not always. Sometimes you just play the market and it goes crazy. One billionaire. And the billionaire has to do this. And you get exactly $2 billion so you can give $1 billion away.
That's the idea.
That's it. That's all we need in this world.
In my mind, I feel like you should, give a fucking billion away. Who gives a shit? $1 billion is going to, what is that even? That's not even money at that point. It's like, what's the point? I know it's about the pursuit of it, but it's fucking absolutely ridiculous. It's fake. Money is fake.
Well, tell that to my health insurance.
Yeah, I know.
All right, and just the final story here that we have. Henry mentioned diabetes, and this dude in Belgium, man, if he doesn't get it, I don't think any of us will. This prank is one of the craziest things ever. It's also been happening for 10 years. He's a 65-year-old Belgian dude. Apparently, people keep on ordering delivery pizzas to his house. They keep on ordering pizzas to his home, and he doesn't know who it is. He doesn't order the pizza. He doesn't want the pizza, and he doesn't know how to stop it. This is a quote.
It has been happening for 10 years.
This is a long con. It's obviously his sadistic neighbor. It seems like it might be like the chick from Serial Mom, just knowing that this is working, driving him nuts. This is what Jean van Landingem had to say. He said, "I cannot sleep anymore. I start shaking every time I hear a scooter on the street." He goes on to say, "I dread that someone will come to drop off hot pizzas yet another time."
But his buddy is also getting the pizzas. And they have no fucking clue where they're coming from. And they keep showing up. And it's traumatizing this Dutch person. Belgium? It is traumatizing him. He doesn't understand. But it's like, I guess you do have to pay for each one. Right? Like, you have to pay for every single time they show up.
How many pizza places are there, number one? Don't all of them know that this man never orders pizza at this address? It has to be a pizza magnet. This has to be the Herman Cain. The Herman Cain of Belgium has got to be behind this.
We already know the one, Kissel. We know who it is.
Oh my God, don't even say it.
We know it's the fucking Papa, man.
You think this is Papa?
I don't know what the Papa's doing because Papa's already, there's how many times since the beginning of COVID-19 have we received the meme of Papa John being the cause of all of this chaos? And for a while, I was like, this is fucking hack. I don't think that this is true. I don't think that he was a part of this or had anything to do with this. I don't think he was as far-reaching as he thought he did. But I honestly think something like this is more of him just practicing.
I could see that.
This
and of course, Papa John, a little bit out of touch, I think. Touring, giving us a virtual TikTok tour of his billionaire mansion. All of the Papa John's garlic sauce bought him all of that.
Can you just go look at his TikTok and see the shit that he built out of the poisoning us, literally just making us have cancer. He has that fucking huge spinning statue.
It's amazing
in the front of his home. It's inspiring.
It's something.
It
is something. It is, yes. It's inspiring to a point. Although, in my mind, you get that when you cure cancer or when you're like a renowned.
I'd love to see that.
The sad thing is, Henry, it's never the renowned historian. Like, when you think about it, you're always like, oh, the historian must be in his mansion in his beautiful library.
Never.
Studying. No, they live in Cobble Hill in a really tiny apartment that they got grandfathered in so they could stay there.
Yes. That's what happens to a historian. They are never paid. And they should know that from studying history, that it never pays. That you have to find a way to get in there. The main way to make money as a historian, I believe, is showing your asshole on OnlyFans. Which is, do it.
I would never want to see a historian's butthole. It's used too much. It's sat on all the time. Van Langdam.
But it's nice and spread. It's the people's asshole.
It is. Van Langdam, he calls this pizza terror. And he also has said that other fast food, including kebabs, have arrived as well.
Jesus fucking Christ. When is this shit going to end?
When is this
shit going to end? And
I
think we should send, and I mean this, I think we should send our troops to Belgium.
Sure.
And rectify this. I think this is a good use of terminal force. You remember SEAL Team 6?
I do.
How many of them were mysteriously murdered after the death of Osama bin Laden, the quote-unquote death of Osama bin Laden? Osama bin Laden, Jeffrey Epstein in the same grave right now, right?
Well, I'm not sure about all of that.
I'm ready to go today. I've had a lot of you know what gets me there? Spring Hill Jack Coffee. I just want to say again, thank you to the people at Spring Hill Jack Coffee for just keeping me just on edge enough to make my family tiptoe around me, but me ready for the radio.
And also able to hear the tiptoes. You got to be super aware. You got to know when they're scared, and you can still then be annoyed by them even further.
That's how big and light and powerful my tiptoes can be.
So just lastly, the Belgian police, they are aware of the situation. They have not charged anyone, and
don't worry, they're on it.
They're on it?
Don't worry, they're on it.
They're
going to fucking, because they eat waffles for lunch there.
Yes, they do, and breakfast and dinner. And law enforcement, they do believe that it's someone that they both know, and they hope to one day unveil them. Van Langdegem says it will not be their best day. Whoever this is, he has ended this with a threat.
I think it's the opposite. I think it will exactly, because I know that if I was doing this, and honestly, I want to steal this. I think that this is one of the funnest things in the world to do to somebody, to slowly but surely psychologically torture them. I would hold it to my chest until my deathbed. And at the very end, and hopefully it's somebody who I'm really close to. I'm looking at you, Kissel. Wait till we're neighbors. And then like really, really close to, and then eventually be like, you remember the pepperoni wave you got in 2030, Kissel? It was me. It's been me all along.
Oh, my.
Got you, fucker. I got you.
Got you, fucker. Yeah, your last words will just be "got you, fucker." I know that already, and and my last action as a free man will be suffocating you in that very bed where you utter those words, and then I will go and I will be incarcerated. All right, I think it's time for Hero of the Week. All right, we're actually going to do another doubler because why not? And the point of this doubler is it's just called fun breaking and entering, okay? So
it's a new type of breaking and entering. I don't mind breaking and entering if it makes a point.
It's harmless. If it's harmless, it is for
sometimes
the better.
It is, and sometimes it can be scary.
Yes, absolutely. So in San Diego, California, this dude broke into a bank, but he didn't want no money. He's like, I'm good. He's homeless, but he still said, I don't care about the money. Instead, the guy broke into the bank so he could use the branch's microwave, which I think is nice. This man must have scouted this bank. I don't know a lot of banks that have microwaves.
How does he break into a bank?
You know, that's a question for another day. It was a San Diego Wells Fargo, so you know whoever works there at security is getting hammered for some reason, just because they got Fargo in the name, and that's all people do out there. So Why did he do this? Well, it's because he needed to heat up Hot Pockets, because he had a package of 2 Hot Pockets. One package has 2 in there. Don't think they're screwing you over. And he wanted to eat those scrumptious delights. A reporter asked him on the scene, was it worth it? A reporter asked. And what he said back was it worth it? Yeah, it was worth it. He said, a Hot Pocket? Hell yeah. So there you go. That man, hero, one of the heroes of the week. The man who
destabilized the bank, 1 Hot Pocket at a time.
Absolutely. He ate both of the microwavable turnovers while inside the bank. That's exactly what you got to be doing there. I would say steal a couple of 10s if you can. And the other hero of the week is a man who got hammered and broke into the Capron Park Zoo. He had gotten drunk and wanted to see the monkeys. His name is Joseph Villa, 52 years old, lives in Attleboro. Got hammered, walked by the zoo, was like, shit, man, there's monkeys right over.
Monkeys.
Oh, see some monkeys.
You know, I'll tell you what, I'll fucking climb up there because I tell what I heard. Our little bird told me that used to be a monkey.
And you know this man was hammered because the arrest happened at 8:43 in the morning. So he is on at least hour 25.
Man, if he just fucking waited an hour 15 minutes, he could have just went to the zoo.
I mean, it's very fun. The enforcement said
waited an hour, he literally just wait. If he got to 8:30, this is the one thing as a buddy.
No, the zoo is closed because of coronavirus.
Why? Animals can't get it.
I guess they can get it. I have no idea.
Oh yeah, us fucking. That's it. Yeah, but we're not fucking. Oh man,
I don't know what the rules are for a zoo. I say open them. No animals were affected or harmed during this bizarre incident. So therefore, I say, leave them alone. Part of the zoo's fence was broken, and officers believe Villa damaged the fence around 7:30 p.m. Monday on surveillance footage, police saw a man who was later identified As Villa walking around the zoo, he allegedly climbed into a rowboat and paddled out to a large pond where there are 2 lemur islands. Lemurs are a beautiful primate, of course. And Villa's visit with the lemurs wasn't meant to be, however. He wasn't able to reach the island because he lodged the boat underneath a footbridge. He then had to exit the boat and swim through the lemur pond back to shore, at which point he exited to the zoo in the same
Wait a second.
hole.
So the lemurs are just left out at the zoo?
On their own island,
there?
I guess.
But I mean, like, they just stay in the zoo? They don't, like, take them and put them in a facility or something? Like, they literally they are just at the zoo?
If you get a chance to see this man, he looks like Artie Lang 5 years ago, so he'll probably get a squishy nose at some point. But this is definitely not this man's first rodeo.
Let me see. I'm trying to find this. Man breaks into zoo, Joseph Villa. I'm just going to see the look of this man's face. I love it. Ooh, yeah, man. Wow. He looks like a fucking Dick Tracy villain. He is not going to do well later on in his life. But no, this is the difference. You know what? Okay. My only thing about my pushback is that if he was like a young guy, I'd be kind of like into it. But there's something about this big alcoholic, scary. He looks like one of my dad's scary friends.
Yeah.
Like, he looks like a guy that
like
I
the
would
one
not...
that's not allowed over, or if he is allowed over, it's a backyard barbecue and you can't come in the house.
You can't come in the house. But yes, he looks like one of those guys being like, this guy's scary. Other question is...
Maybe neither of those people are really heroes, but the idea of...
living
freedom. The life, breaking your barriers.
Wow.
And getting...
Good move. Good pivot.
It's about that.
Do you think that would be kind of fun for them to take the animals out of the zoo on little COVID-19 tours where you take the animals in like kind of like old school, like the way the circus used to come through, where you put them in like kind of like little like mobile kind of carts, right? Where you can drive them through your neighborhood and then everybody can come out of their house and take a look at the animals.
That's what the guy did when he kidnapped all the kids in Batman Returns.
That is the Penguin's plan.
Yeah, that's what that weird ass does. But, you know, it would work. It'll definitely get the kids' attention.
But what if it was nice?
I think that sounds great. I love that. We could say that about damn near everything.
Damn near fucking everything. And I'm going to get we'll just ruin everything. I'm going to go into some listener letters. Number one, as I got some, this is a little bit later on, but we talked about the Black Hat Man for a period of time. And there was a couple interesting responses we got from a couple of psychologists. One, what I thought that was very, very interesting was, number one, is that the liminal state between wakefulness and sleep is actually very stressful because our brains are kind of caught in this fight or flight response because our awareness is up, but our bodies can't move. But one thing that's interesting is kind of little depictions of the Hat Man's face and body and why they lack clear faces. Our brains, this comes from a letter. Our brains actually suck at creating faces. Many of the hallucinations that occur not only with sleep paralysis, but are common with schizophrenia and other mental illness, they lack clear faces. They're often obscured, lack detail, or brains fuck up features in some way. The Hat Man's face, described as either obscured completely or with exaggerated features, fits well into what psychologists expect in humanoid hallucinations. The features that do appear, sunken eyes and large open mouth, fit the description of a starving predator, or could be an evolutionary template for quote-unquote scary face locked away in our reptilian brains. The other one they say, it's like what they call a visual release hallucination, or Charles Bonnet syndrome, which was thought to be rare, but is now considered underreported and probably relatively common. It's a very interesting idea that these release hallucinations can occur in people without formal syndrome, but who are sleep deprived, have visual problems, or just in the dark and just like normal people. They said there was something very interesting, right? There are a variety of different kinds of bizarre hallucinations that are seen with this syndrome, but commonly they tend to appear tall, stretched out. The brain is thought to compensate for this by adding a top hat to make sense of the bizarrely tall, thin person. And I thought that was very interesting.
Very interesting indeed. Thank you so much for sharing that. The Black Hat Man has certainly given us a lot of mileage. It's a fascinating thing. And you're right, man. The hollowed out eyes, the big gaping mouth, the black hole that it leaves. It's scary as hell.
Oh, and we got some responses back about Semen X, right? They were talking about the pills that can make your cum bigger.
Yeah.
On the last Relax Fit episode.
Does it work?
But they say apparently it is a dietary supplement. This comes from a wonderful listener. Apparently it is a lot of times there's a dietary supplement. It consists of zinc, magnesium, and calcium. There's a few academic studies out there regarding the combo and its effect of semen production and ejaculation. The reason I'm aware of this phenomenon is thanks to a hunky bodybuilder I used to sleep with. He and his lifter bros all took ZMC as a part of their vitamin regimen for working out and building muscle. But all noticed that once they started taking it, they were shooting off huge loads.
Whoa!
That this is his words, she said, that would on occasion rocket across the room. Apparently, it also gave them really vivid, lucid dreams.
Well, it might not be the safest thing you could ever digest, but all right. I mean, I guess that's one way to sell it. I do like that Pornhub is like, fuck muscle, we'll give you cum.
I just don't, again, we said this last time, I don't need more cum.
I don't think anyone does.
I mean, some people do. Some people like the aesthetic. This is a weird one. When I was in 9th grade walking to the bus stop, it was still dark out and eerily calm. No traffic and very quiet. But the second I stepped onto the street from my driveway, it felt like there was some kind of mild static electricity in the air. Anyways, my bus stop was half a block from my house on the corner, with one street light above it and some pine trees and shrubs that lined the street. I was looking at the ground as I walked up the hill towards the bus stop, and just before I crossed the street, I finally looked up to see if the kid I shared this bus stop with was already there, and he wasn't. Instead, standing directly under the streetlight was this 3.5 foot tall alien facing its body toward me, staring at me. I stopped in my tracks and stared for a second, paralyzed with fear. This thing was like 3.5 feet tall with grayish, bluish, whitish skin. I could see blue veins under its skin, which seemed almost translucent or thin. No clothing, no hair, no noticeable genitalia. Its head was large with a sort of flattish top that became bulbous around the forehead area, tapered in a bit at the temple, then bulbous cheekbones and the taper down to a flattish chin, and the eyes were larger and more spaced out than human eyes. I didn't see a nose, and the mouth was like a small slit, no lips, and closed. The arms were too long for its body and hung at its side. I guess I didn't take note of its hands. It kind of had a flat chest with small pectoral muscles with no nipples.
Oh my.
And a wider protruding lower stomach. This is very interesting. Whitish hips, wide-set hips, short legs, look more like how when a hooved animal stands on their hind legs than with humanoid feet. The thing just stood there under the streetlight facing me and staring at me, and only 20 to 30 feet away from me. I would guess I stood there for maybe 3 to 5 seconds staring at it, frozen with fear and confusion, trying to figure out what the fuck I was staring at. When my brain caught up with me, I ran as fast as I could back home, just inconsolably crying and hyperventilating. My parents were confused and horrified to what happened to me for the 3 minutes I was gone. My mom had to help me walk to the nearest chair. I didn't go to school. My dad stayed home because I was too scared to be alone. And after I calmed down, I took a nap and woke up 8 hours later to my mom when she got back from work. Very, very interesting. I love those kinds of things. And here's one more of those stories. I just love this fucking shit.
So was the alien going to school?
Don't be fucking ridiculous, Kissel.
I don't know. Anything
Don't you
can happen.
dare be ridiculous.
All right. Well, thank you so much for sending in those listener emails. We got one more for you.
Now, this is strange. This is one of those, I don't know, like, this is kind of a chicken or the egg thing. Like, tell me what you think.
Okay.
My mother is convinced that I've been an abductee since early childhood. I frequently had horrific night terrors in which I would scream about bugs attacking my body. Several times the night terrors got so bad that she took me to the ER as a toddler, where I was given heavy sedatives and sent home. She also said I regularly told her about the very tall man who would watch me from my doorway. Toddler me described him as having insect-like eyes and being so tall he had to hunch to fit in the doorframe. Frankly, my mother is very new agey, and I didn't believe these stories recounted to me in middle school. I did vaguely recall a creepy tall man, but the night terrors themselves stopped when I turned 4. This was until I had an experience as a teenager that leaves me without any rational answers to this day. I was 13 years old, reading from my bedroom. It was midday, as I remember the sun shining down on me as I lay reclined in bed. I remember feeling foggy all of a sudden, like in a daydream. For some unknown reason, some unknown period of time, what brought me back to full consciousness was looking down on my legs and realizing they were covered in blood. It wasn't just my legs. Blood was streaming down my arms and my chest. But I was not in any pain. I ran downstairs hysterical when I got my mother. She began frantically wiping at the blood to try and figure out where the wound was. But by this point, the blood had covered most of my body and we couldn't find a source. My mother rushed me into the shower to get better handle of the situation. It was there that we discovered that I was covered head to toe in hundreds of needle pricks. My body looked like someone had taken a sewing needle and stitched through all my limbs and core. I am 33 now, and I have exhausted my brain trying to find any rational explanation for this experience. It also is burned into my mother's memory. I would have thought it was a hallucination. To her, it was the final proof of what she had always expected since my childhood. And I have yet to come up with a better theory.
Damn. All right. Thank you so much.
Who knows? Who fucking knows?
All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of Side Stories. Keep the emails coming, sidestorieslpotl@gmail.com. Hope everyone is doing all right out there. Another week ahead of us here on the Last Podcast Network.
Apocalypse Radio coming at you from a bunker deep, not that deep inside of Los Angeles. It's actually, it is above ground.
Yeah, we're all elevated. Yeah.
Yeah, we really are. Just remember, you gotta love your life. Yeah, you spend most of your weekend watching videos of police abuse, people beating the shit out of each other. But you gotta love your fellow man. That's why it's more important than ever to love your fellow man. Give him some support.
Absolutely.
Go out there. You gotta live every day as if the shit was about to go down. Are you the person that you need to be for the post-apocalyptic world? Learn how to hold your breath. That's the only thing I could say, right?
Sure.
Learn how to swim.
Learn how to snorkel. It's not that easy.
Learn how to snorkel. It helps on vacation, and it helps fighting the government.
Sure.
And you're going to want to laugh every once in a goddamn while. Because when it comes down to it, revolution, it's not going to be without some form of titters and tatters here and there. So we got to get out there, and we have to laugh as the statues fall.
Absolutely. Live, laugh, love, folks. And of course, if you are in Austin, laugh when you drive past the Alex Jones studio. I just watched somebody try to infiltrate it, and it was really amazing.
Oh,
Not
my
easy
God.
to do. Not easy to do.
No, I bet he has a lot of security.
Yes, he does. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for listening. Hail yourselves.
Hail Satan.
Magustalations.
Hail me. This show is made possible by listeners like you. Thanks to our ad sponsors, you can support our shows by supporting them. For more shows like the one you just listened to, go to lastpodcastnetwork.com.
Talk about regrets. We all know someone who's been in a car accident and said, I don't need to call a lawyer, only to regret it after their pain and damages were worse than expected. When someone hurts you, you deserve to be compensated fairly. Morgan & Morgan is America's largest injury law firm, fighting for the people for over 35 years. Injured? Visit forthepeople.com/podcast. That's forthepeople.com/podcast. Their fee is free unless they win.
Hi, listeners. Marcus, Ed, and Henry here. It's a little bit of an announcement.
You loving all the episodes of Last Podcasts on the Left lately? Well, listen, now you can get even more from us.
Squeeze it out of us. If you want to hear new episodes ad-free and unlock access to Last Podcast on the Left 7 days early, subscribe to SiriusXM Podcast Plus on Apple Podcasts or visit SiriusXM.com/Podcast Plus to start your free trial today. Do it.